Okay, this is quiz assistance for Chapter 5, Sections 1 through 6. On number 1, you have to find the least common multiple of 7 and 21. And here what I did is I counted by the number. I counted by 7s, and then I counted by 21. I'm looking for the least or the smallest common multiple that is in both 7 and 21. When you find that, circle it, and that's your answer. Number 2, I'm looking for the least common multiple of 24 and 32, and I factored this one. This is 2 to the third times 3, and this one is 2 to the fifth. So I have to use 5 2's and the 3, and that would be my answer for number 2, counting those out and adding the 3 to multiply together. Number 3, least common multiple between 15 and 50, I counted them out. Find the smallest least common multiple. Find the smallest one that's common first to both of them. Number 4, same thing. I counted by the 9 and I counted by the 18. I'm looking for the least number. And when I look at the letters, I'm looking for the most. So in this case, I'd use 3 A's, 1 B, and 1 C. Number 5. I have to convert fractions to common. I have to convert fractions to compare them. So I changed the common denominator. And this was I was comparing 2/3 to 7/9. Well, I have to change 2/3, multiply the top and bottom by 3, so I end up with 9ths. So I have 6/9 compared to 7/9, and I put in a less than, greater than, or equal here. The next set of problems is number 6. Okay, when I have to change the 3/5 to tenths. I have to multiply the top and the bottom by 2. So I convert 3/5 to tenths, and then I compare the two fractions of number 6 with a less than, greater than, or equal. 7, ignore the whole number 2. Just look at the fraction. The common denominator for both the fractions on that one is 42. Number 8, I have to change the negative. I have negative 2/8 times 4 over 4. Then I compare them. I'm getting the common denominator of 32. Now remember, when you do negative numbers, the bigger number is actually farther away from 0, and it's smaller. So the bigger number is smaller. The next set of problems deals with changing fractions to decimals. So all I have to do is take the numerator, the top number, and divide it by the bottom number for each one. So for example, 1/2, I take 1 divided by 2, and that'll actually give me 0.5. The next set of problems, section 4, is adding and subtracting fractions. So if I have a straight one where they're the same fraction, like number 19, they both have ace in the bottom, all I do is add the top two numbers. I leave the bottom number the same as the fraction below. So I just add 3 plus 4 to get 7/8 for that one. So each of them like that, I do the same kind of thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the next set of problems, and I'm going to bring down my next sheet, and that'll be sheet number 3. We'll put that down here so you can see what we're doing there. Okay, on sheet number 3. Okay, with different denominators, the bottom number is different. They have to be changed to the same. Number 2, the denominator for both is 4. For 23, the denominator is 21. Remember to add or subtract the whole numbers too. Okay, so this is your help for adding and subtracting. The next section 5 talks about multiplying fractions. Multiply the numerator across and the denominator across. The numerator is at top, so 29 is 3/6 times 4/7. So I take the 3 times the 4 to get 12, and 6 times 7 to get 42. When you have mixed numbers with these, you need to change the mixed number to an improper fraction. What I do is I multiply the denominator by the whole number, then add the numerator. So my example here is 3 2/7 times 1 4/9. So for the top one, I take 7 times 3, add 2. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 2 is going to give me 23/7. On this one here, I end up with 9 times 1 plus 4, the numerator, over 9. So I end up with 9 plus 4, or 13/9. So I'm actually going to be multiplying 23/7 times 13/9. Then multiply straight across, just like we did before on the other fractions, to get your final number. Don't worry about reducing it to a common term. Now, we'll go through the last page here, and the last page is it talks about dividing fractions. Okay, dividing fractions, you leave the very first fraction as it is. So if I have this one, number 33, 3/4 divided by 2/3, I take the 3/4 and leave it as it is. Then I take the second fraction and flip it upside down, which is a reciprocal, and multiply like I did before. So I take the 2/3 here, change the division sign to multiplication, and I flip this one upside down. So I have 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 2 or 8, so I have 9/8 for 33. So all of them you have to do the same thing. Flip the second number, the reciprocal, okay? For mixed numbers, I have to change to an improper fraction like we did before. So for example, this one right here, 35, I have to change 2.5. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so that becomes 5/2. So my problem now on this one is 5/2 divided by 4/6. So I put a multiplication sign in, and I flip the 6 and 4 upside down, and I multiply straight across. So 5 times 6 is 30, 2 times 4 is 8. Now, the last set of problems is use a conversion chart to figure out these changes. Okay, 1/2 of a yard equals feet. I use a conversion chart. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. So I multiply 1/2 times 3. 1/2 times 3 is 3/2. So 1/2 yard is equal to 1.5 feet, or 3/2 for this one. Okay? Now, hopefully this will help you go through the quiz. We have a lot of the same problems we've been working on the review and the quiz. The last one is trying to find 3 consecutive integers. That means numbers like 4, 5, and 6. So you need to find 3 numbers that add up to 135, okay? So that might be like 41, 42, 43, something like that, okay? Good luck.